The women's soccer and field hockey teams keep their winning streaks alive.
And the football team starts conference play.
All this and a whole lot more coming up on All Access.
Welcome to another edition of All Access. I'm Maria Brasco, and with me as always is Chris Jarnagle. With so much to do and limited amount of time, Chris, let's hit the ground running.
Thanks, Maria. The Rowan University women's cross-country team participated in the Brown Short Run Brown race on Saturday. Rowan took 19th place in the Brown race that included 40 NCAA schools from Divisions 1, 2, and 3. Junior captain Kristen Bettis out of Hamilton, New Jersey, finished 24th overall out of 360 runners. She had a career best time of 22 minutes, 21 seconds over the 6K course. The women keep impressing and have shown that they are not a team to be taken lightly. Their next race is the Princeton Invitational on Saturday, October 18th at Princeton University at 10:30 a.m.
This past Saturday, Rowan was among 40 schools competing in the 41st annual Paul Short Run at Lehigh University, coming in 19th place overall with 486 points and a total time of 2:11:15. 341 runners participated in the 8K event. Rowan's John Sunig came in 7th with a time of 25:01, a new personal best. Pat McCurry, Tim Dole, Zach Helm, and Kevin Veltri also finished in the top half. Division I schools swept the top 6 spots, led by Queen's University Jeffrey Archer with a time of 24:34.
The Rowan University field hockey team defeated Keene University 3-1 in a New Jersey Athletic Conference game on Saturday evening. Forward Courtney Aquino, midfielder Marissa Marini, and back Erica Michella each scored 1 goal. Marini and Michella also had 1 assist each. Midfielder Marissa Robinson had the Cougars' lone goal, and goalie Carly DeMarco made 5 saves for the Profs in the win. Rowan improves to 7-3 overall and a 2-0 record in the conference. Next, Rowan hosts Wesley College on Wednesday, October 8th at 7.
The Rowan field hockey team recorded a 6-0 victory over Wesley College at home on October 8th. The victory extended Rowan's winning streak to 5 games, with 3 of those wins as shutouts. Field hockey is now 8-3 overall in the season and an impressive 6-0 in Glassboro. Forward Sam Brown started scoring early with her 12th goal of the season in the 2nd minute, followed by a score from midfielder Marissa Marnie at 8:10 for a quick 2-0 advantage. 2 of the Profs' next 4 goals will come off the stick from forward Johanna James. The Profs finished by outshooting Wesley 20-2 for the game. Rowan field hockey gets back to the NJAC play as they travel to Richard Stockton College on October 11th to face the struggling Ospreys team.
The men's ice hockey team faced off against Montclair State and would lose in overtime 6-5. The game was filled with offense as both teams would combine for a total of 80 shots. 5 different props would find the back of the net. Defenseman Andrew Doherty would lead Rowan in points with 1 goal and 2 assists. Tyler Rogers would also have a multi-point game with 1 goal and 1 assist. After a tied first period, Montclair State would lead a 2-1 lead after the Profs would score 3 straight goals. Montclair would storm back and tie the game. Eventually, these 2 teams would go into overtime. Albert Abunza would score the winning goal 3 minutes into overtime to give Montclair State the win.
The Profs would rebound the next night, beating Temple University 4-2. For the Profs, it was all about the special teams. Rowan would score twice on a power play, and Alexos Polis also had a shorthanded goal. Polis would also end the night with 2 goals and 1 assist. Rowan's Alec Nikolai also had a great night. He would get 1 goal and 1 assist. His goal would give Rowan the lead near the end of the first, before David Brewer would tie it up for Temple in the 2nd period. Rowan would notch 2 more goals in to give them the victory. Rowan is now 1-0 and 2 on the season. They head to Ohio for the ACHA Showcase.
I mean, after yesterday, it was a little heartbreaking our end of the game. We got 2-hour bus ride back. like I said, we showed a lot of will today. We showed that we wanted to win the game as our first conference game. We needed to come out the W, and we came out the W.
Yeah, we just we had noticed last weekend we were having some trouble special teams wise, so we spent some extra time at practice this week working on the power play and the penalty kill. We did a little bit better yesterday, and today we made some tweaks to it, and today seemed to have a good recipe for everything.
The women's ice hockey team would open their season with an overtime 2-1 victory against St. Joseph's. Hawks forward Sydney Flemister would open the score of the first goal 3 minutes into the first period. Rowan, however, would recover with goals from Jalissa Wright and Lauren Kilatilo. Wright would also have an assist on the night. Goalie Samantha Mazzi would be the big star for Rowan, making 22 saves on 23 attempts. Next up for Rowan is Columbia University on October 18th.
The Rowan University's women's volleyball took on Rutgers Newark Tuesday night in an NJAC match. The Profs got off to a quick start, taking the first 2 sets, but Rutgers Newark fought back and took the following 2 sets. In the tie-break set, Rowan won 15-10, bringing the overall match score to 3-2, earning the Profs a victory. Junior middle hitter Morgan Mendy led Rowan with 20 kills. The Profs have won their last 2 games, giving them an 8-12 overall record. Their next match is against Penn State Abington to kick off the Rowan University Invitational.
Now we'll toss it over to Pete Ignorato for this week's Pro Talk Minute.
All right, thanks very much, Chris. Now for this week's installment of Pro Sports Talk, we take a look into the history of the Eagles and Giants rivalry. With the Birds facing New York on Sunday night, it'll mark the 169th time these two clubs have faced each other, with the first meeting being played way back in 1933. Even with the notable history behind the Birds and Cowboys, the Giants have always presented a consistently competitive matchup. From the 2 Miracle at the Meadowland games to the present-day back-and-forth chatter between 2 teams leading up to Sunday's matchup, the rivalry hasn't lost a step at all. Say what you want, but there is no doubt that the Giants and Eagles is the biggest rivalry in Philadelphia right now. And sticking with football, the NFL has fined 49ers quarterback Colin Kaepernick $10,000 for wearing Beats by Dre headphones after his game this past Sunday. The NFL signed a sponsorship deal with Bose, which is why Kaepernick is in hot water. Now, Broncos tight end Julius Thomas was fined $8,000 earlier this week for an illegal chop block that injured an Arizona Cardinal defender. Now, Commissioner Roger Goodell obviously has more interest in headphones than the safety of his players. Get real, Roger. Switching gears to baseball now. It's become a steady theme for the National League in the World Series, Giants or Cardinals. This year will be no different from the past 4, as one of these 2 teams will appear in the Fall Classic once again. Why is this happening? Well, for one, both organizations have homegrown talent, and they bring in key bench pieces to fuel a pennant race. For San Fran in 2010, Edgar Renteria was the World Series MVP. In 2011 for the Cardinals, it was David Freese. Now, Renteria has since retired, and Freese is no longer in St. Louis. There's constant activity within these organizations, and that's why the juices keep on flowing between the 2 clubs. Now, let alone the precision move that have gone on between these 2 teams, there's a secret formula of success, which is why these 2 clubs have succeeded so well. Maybe it's luck, maybe it's scouting, maybe it's commitment, or maybe it's a little bit of everything. Who knows? But both teams are consistently winning. And lastly, with the NHL season underway, I have some beef with Flyers fans. Now, don't get me wrong, I'm a Philadelphia fan through and through. However, it just doesn't seem to me that it's cool to criticize the Philadelphia Eagles, the Philadelphia Phillies, and the Sixers. But when it comes to the Flyers, it's a sin to say a bad word about them. I get it. The Flyers fan base is a die-hard group, but it's like a cult, to be honest. Everyone just believes they are set to be at the top of the Eastern Conference standings year in and year out. They haven't won a Stanley Cup in nearly 40 years, and the defense is no different than last season. And it's going to take time for Sanheim and Morin to develop. However, right now this team isn't more than a 6th or 7th seed in my opinion. Now, guys, back to you.
Thanks, Pete. Coming up, the football team takes on SUNY Cortland on the road, and Sandra Hillis sits down with members of the women's soccer team. So stick around for more of All Access.